Ya Ali Madad. Alwaaz, Rai Abu Ali Missionary, wise number 930.
Wash his head, his face, his neck. Umar was there. In a worldly way, the Holy Prophet didn't know that Hazrat Umar was there. He said, listen, Muslimin, time has come that I may leave this world. And very shortly, I will leave you all. I again remind you, I'm leaving behind two very heavy things. Now in Arabic, sakal means very heavy thing. Sakal also means the gravity. Sakalul arz means gravitation of the earth. And the plural of sakal is saklan. So this hadith saklan, that means hadith of the two very heavy things. Now in Arabic, heavy means like stone or like iron, but heavy also means that with your intention, with love and care, you must discharge the duty towards that thing which is very important at the cost of even your life. So the Holy Prophet said, I am leaving behind two very heavy things. One is the Kitabullah, the Quran, and the other thing is my itrat, my progeny. Mind you, these two things would not depart from each other. They will remain together. And you hold fast these two things. This is the rope of Allah. After a few moments, he demanded a paper and pen, so that, he said, I may give you in writing that you may not go astray. Mind you, if you don't follow my command, if you don't follow this thing, and if you leave one thing out of these two and you follow only one and leave the other, you will go astray. So a man stood up to get paper and pen. Hazrat Umar caught him. Sit down. You know, he is too much feverish. He is simply talking senseless in fever. In Arabic the word is hajar. Hajar means when fever goes into brain, the brain doesn't work properly sensely. It's a kind of coma. So the Hazrat, who was second caliph of Islam, he said, this man is in coma. Don't believe whatever he is talking. The words came to the ear of the Holy Prophet, and he angrily said, I know what you mean. Kumu ani. Get away from me. Get out. All got out. Hazrat Umar was very pleased. It happened whatever he wanted to be happened. And within few hours, the Holy Prophet died. When the Holy Prophet died, Hazrat Umar was the first person to know. He came running with Abu Bakr was not there, so he sent his slave to fetch Abu Bakr, who was a few miles away in his village. Osama's army is standing outside. I have calculated in history that 7 times the Holy Prophet ordered them to go with Osama. They did not go. 7 times. They disobeyed the Holy Prophet. Allah says, obey Allah, atiullah, wa atiur Rasul, obey the Prophet. His own Sahaba of first grade disobeyed him in his face. Usama's army stood outside and he died. When he died, Hazrat Umar's own daughter, Bibi Hafsa, was the wife of the Holy Prophet. She sent her maid to inform her father. He came running and sent a slave to fetch Hazrat Abu Bakr, because now the time was absolutely ripe for his designs and his long preparations. Hazrat Abu Bakr came, so both were fathers-in-law of the Holy Prophet. They went and they saw themselves the Holy Prophet dead. Immediately when people started coming into that small 10 by 12 feet, the bedroom, Hazrat Umar took Abu Bakr's hand, dragged him outside, and they went away to a town hall known as Saqifa Bani Saada. There they elected Hazrat Abu Bakr as their first caliph. It took longer than 3.5 hours, but I'm not giving you any details of that election. It is also worth reading and worth knowing so that you may understand the background of Ghadir Khum. So Abu Bakr was elected. Meanwhile, during this period of 3 or 4 hours, Mawla Ali buried the Holy Prophet there and there where he died, in that room. There were hardly 6 people inside. After the burial, Mawla Ali closed the door, locked it, took the key with him, went to his house. After the election, Abu Bakr and Umar, they came with their followers, and when they learned that the Holy Prophet was buried already, Abu Bakr could not stand because of the shock. He fell down. And he caught hold the beard of Umar. He said, "It is you who have kept me away from the burial ceremony of my son-in-law." Umar smiled. You know the gesture of that smile? He said, in his heart, in his smile, "So what? Doesn't matter. You are a caliph." He made Abu Bakr caliph at the cost that you understand now. I'm giving you the story. Hazrat Ali was kept aside. All those allegiances, bayat and ceremonies and mubarak and congratulations and shouting in praise of Ali went into dustbin. Ali was forgotten altogether. Khilafat went to Abu Bakr, and the arrangement was, Umar knew Abu Bakr was very old. He would not live another 3, 4 or 5 years, and Abu Bakr really died in 2 years' time, a little bit over 2 years. And the Khilafat came to Umar. This was his design. I bring you back to the point. Ghadir Khum was an historical event. It did happen. During the past 1400 years, Bani Umayyah tried very much to wipe out the event of Ghadir Khum. They failed. They tried, they published, they wrote, they got written many such hadiths and stories. Even now, many Sunni writers, they don't believe. Unfortunately, many Ismailis from India and Pakistan side, And now even here in Canada, they think that such event never happened. But I tell you, it was the most important event in the history of Islam, which could not be wiped out, could not be destroyed with its evidences. I have written a small book on Ghadir Khum in Gujarati about 15 years ago. The booklet is named as Waqia Ghadir. I don't know whether any one of you has that book. In that book I have given 30 quotations from the top grade Sunni ulamas like Bukhari, Muslim, Ibn Kathir, Tirmidhi, and Imam Hakim of these Sunnis, not our Hakim Imam Hakim of Sunnis. I have given 30 top grade quotations. No Sunni alim can deny Ghadir Khum is an historical event. It did happen. Maulana Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has also mentioned in his Kalam-e-Imam Mubin, and he has given many details. So much so that Imam also did mention that a person, Nu'man bin Haris, he didn't like the Prophet's progeny, that means Ahl Bayt, particularly Mawla Ali, and he came in Ghadir Khum after the declaration of Mawla Ali's Imamat. He came to Prophet, Ya Nabi, you told us to pray and we prayed. You told us to pay zakat, we did it. You told us to keep fast in the month of Ramadan, we did it. You told us to make Hajj, we obeyed you. It wasn't enough that now after your death you are imposing Ali upon us. Is it your own personal liking and declaration, or it is also from Allah? The Holy Prophet kept his finger on his lips. He said, whatever comes from here, that means from my mouth, it is from Allah. So that Ibn Haris turned his back, went out of that Jamaat, and he lifted his eyes up in the skies. He said, Oh Allah, if this is true that this order has come from you, then it is better for me to die. Let a stone come from the sky on my head to kill me, then I obey Ali. As soon as he went out of that Jamaat, the assembly, a stone from the sky fell on his head and he died instantly. This thing you may find in many books. Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah has referred it in his Kalam-e-Imam Mubin. Ali was declared as the successor of the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet said, O Muslims, if you keep one thing out of these two, my progeny and the book, you will go astray. The people, they only kept the book and left Ali behind. They went astray. Very few people who understand the implications of the promises made with the Holy Prophet and Mawla Ali in Ghadir, they are only following. During the time of the Khilafat of Mawla Ali as third caliph after the death of, fourth caliph after the death of Usman, Mawla Ali once stood in the mosque of Medina. There were many Sahabas, very old companions of the Holy Prophet. So Mawla Ali said, those who were present in Ghadir Will you please raise your hands? So 30 people, they raised their hands. And they affirmed the truthfulness of that event. They agreed. And they said, Ya Ali, you are our Mawla, and we follow and obey you. There was one man, his name was Anas bin Malik. He was also there in Ghadir. He was a personal secretary of the Holy Prophet for 10 years. His ahadith are referred by Sunnis very much and taken as authentic, as authority also. So Mawla Ali pointed, Ya Ibn Malik, you were also there? He said, I don't remember, Ya Ali. So Mawla Ali said, those who speak lie at the command of Allah, they will turn blind. And within a year, Anas bin Malik became blind. Then he repented, came to Ali, begged Mawla Ali's pardon. Mawla said, time has gone away. So, I've taken much time, 10 minutes to 9 now. The important points I have already mentioned in my small speech. Yet, if I have forgotten anything, I may tell you again. And if you allow me to sit down, I will close my lecture here. And after a cup of tea, we'll meet again, and you can bombard me with your questions. Ya Ali Madad.
We have a shortage of mics, so we would request anybody who's got a question to come forward for us to be able to record the question, to come forward and say the question in the mic so that Alwaaz can then answer. Thank you. Is there a first question?
What is this for? What?
You're recording.
No,
he mic
આપણ એ લોકો સવાલ કરે તો મેં સુનાઈ દીધો. I see.
Any questions? No questions? Goodness me. This is a very rare chance you are getting now. Answer? Come forward, please.
Alwaaz mentioned that according to the old calendar, that the day on which Alwaaz failed was equivalent to the day on which the Eid al-Ghadir occurred. Why is it then that we Ismailis celebrate these two occasions separately and not together?
Eid al-Ghadir is according to the Islamic calendar on the 18th of Dhul-Hijjah, and Nowruz Day is according to the solar system. That is the lunar calendar that Islamic countries are using, but Nowruz falls according to the solar movement, and that's why we follow the solar calendar and not the lunar calendar, because in lunar calendar it cannot agree with the movements of the sun. Sun takes 365 and quarter days to complete its journey through space, and that is the reason it falls exactly every year on 21st of March. If there is a leap year, the leap year is every fourth year, And in February we add one day, still it comes 21st of March every year, and it is not according to the Islamic calendar. That's why we celebrate these two things separately.
Can you please tell me why Hazrat Ali allowed Umar to use Abu Bakr and totally usurp the Khalifa?
Very good question. Very good question. And all teachers, missionaries, and even those who are interested in our history, they must know. You know, at that time, all Muslims were not absolutely firm believers in Islam. A vast majority of nomads, illiterate villagers and farmers, they became Muslims because of personal greed, because they wanted money. Also, they wanted to be exempted from paying non-Muslim tax, which is known as jizya, and there is also mention in the Holy Quran. If Mawla Ali had taken any kind of step against the caliphate of Hazrat Umar or Hazrat Abu Bakr, there would have been a major split in this new Islam. When Hazrat Abu Bakr became the first caliph, and the next morning when the whole Medina took the allegiance, Abu Sufyan, father of Muawiyah, didn't like, so he wanted to grab an opportunity to destroy Islam. He came running to Mawla Ali. He said, Ya Ali, you are sitting here like a weak person. God has given you so much strength. Allow me, and I can fill the streets of Medina with my army. I may bring thousands of soldiers to fight for your right. Hazrat Ali, he knew what was in the mind of Abu Sufyan. He told Abu Sufyan, now you have come to help me. You are the biggest and severest enemy of Islam. You got an opportunity to destroy Islam within. Get out of my house. I don't want your help. What Abu Sufyan envisaged, he thought, if Ali says, okay, bring your soldiers, I'm pleased and I'm thankful that you are helping me. So Ali's camp, and there would be another camp of Abu Bakr would fight amongst each other. Muslims will fight against Muslims, and I can take revenge of my old grudge. Mawla Ali knew it. To save Islam, Hazrat Ali, he kept calm. He didn't object. Though mildly he said, Khilafat is my right, not your right, Abu Bakr. He protested, but he did not take any action. Had Mawla Ali taken action at that time, Islam would have never been there. So the same Mawla who fought for Islam, he did not fight to save Islam. Let his right be taken away by others. And the same thing happened at the time of Karbala. There, Hazrat Imam Hussein, if he had given his allegiance to Yazid, Islam would have been destroyed. So Ali saved Islam second time. First time by fighting, second time for let others take his right, withdrawing from his own claims. And third time, Hazrat Imam Hussein gave his neck and he saved Islam. That was the reason Hazrat Ali did not fight against Abu Bakr and Umar and Usman, rather helped them whenever there was a problem in Islamic organization.
How old was Hazrat Ali at the time of death of Prophet Muhammad, and how many years they stayed together?
Hazrat Ali and the Holy Prophet, they were 30 years apart. Hazrat Ali was 30 years younger than the Holy Prophet. Now it is according to the Islamic calendar. When the Holy Prophet died, Hazrat Ali at that time was 43 years, 42 years old. And he was murdered in 40 or 41.
Many questions from the younger people, but as they did not rise up, I would like to ask Missionary Saleh one or two questions, because he knows my answers, and I want him to answer so that you, younger generation, can know more from that. I have read in a book by Anon Ismaili, wherein he describes how Umar stood up for bayat and uttered in such a manner which was not respectable. And Nabi Sahib immediately drew his attention and said, look, he is my wasi, and it is your duty to talk to him respectfully. Is it true? Have you read it anywhere?
This is not true. The mention of such thing is there in a book which is not authentic. I gave you the story from the most authentic writers and biographers of the Holy Prophet. And whatever I told you that Umar really was the first person amongst the lot who stood up and congratulated Mawla Ali, and the words I spoke, I uttered here, were written in so many seerats, that means the lives of the Prophet Muhammad. The biography of Prophet Muhammad is full of that event. And the other thing that you mentioned, Ramzan Bhai, is not true. Actually, he respected very much, and he was the first person, and he spoke loudly that you are my Lord and the Lord of all the Muslims.
Did he say anything like Pisare, Talib or something?
Ya Ibn Abi Talib. Ibn Abi Talib means it is the general way of addressing amongst the Arabs, and it is a mark of respect rather than giving him the first name. The respected person is addressed as Ya Ibn Abi Talib. Another question.
The other question is that most of the Shias in the world never gave their children the name of Umar, Abu Bakr, Osman or Aisha, as far as Shias are concerned. Is it true?
Yes, this is true. And Unfortunately, I came across an Ismaili. His name was Osman.
I have come across somebody whose name is Aisha.
Shias, they don't give their children such names. And I remember Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah made once a farman in Bombay. He said, give your children the names from our pedi, that means the silsila of imamat, imam's names or peer's names.
Some of the historians have described Umar as a very short-stated fellow, and it is the saying of our elders that those who are short are dangerous. Similarly, Umar was a very short chap, and he was really cunning. You described in your speech that Umar was a diplomat.
It is wrong. Umar was very tall, and Abu Bakr was very tall. Excuse me, Ali was short.
Hazrat Ali was short and Umar was also short. That's what I read it.
Hazrat Ali was about 5 feet.
Yes.
Once, it is a mashhur, famous hadith. I mean, hadith means an event written in the history. Once, all these three, Hazrat Ali in the middle, Abu Bakr on his right, Umar on his left, they were just going through a street. Those people who know Arabic, they know how to write Lam, Noon, Alif. It becomes Lana. Lam is longer, Noon is shorter, Alif again is longer. So Noon is Ali, Umar is, Abu Bakr is Lam, and Umar is Alif because they were taller than Ali. So someone wrote, Lana, Haza Lana Bina'a Noon. That means they are three. Lana is like a triangle. They are three without Noon. That without Ali, they are La. La means nothing. So Ali was not tall. Umar was not short.
Most of the Ashnafis, when they either hear the name of these three first Khalif, Umar, Abu Bakr, Umar and Osman, they immediately, give lanat to them. And if I'm right, Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah has stopped us to do that. Is it true?
Actually, in our history of 1400 years, we Ismailis, particularly amongst the Shias, we have never, right from the very beginning, made any lanat, means curse on these Khalifas. We have never done that. Maulana Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah wrote a letter to the editor of Al-Islah, our Ismaili paper in Urdu and Gujarati, which was published by Ali Muhammad Jan Muhammad Chunara in Karachi. Mawla sent a message that was in 1950. It was Imamat's day, a special number of that, Al-Islah. Imam sent a letter to him. I have got the copy. As the Imam said that we Ismailis, we do not dispute about the Khilafat, because Hazrat Ali himself during his life accepted the Khilafat of Abu Bakr, Umar and Osman. So now after 1400 years, it is not advisable to raise that question. We Ismailis have never cursed these caliphs. On the contrary, we have respected them as the leaders of the Sunnah. They were the leaders. They were the caliphs. And we pay them due respect as caliphs of Islam. We Ismailis, unlike Ithna Sharif and other Shias, we respect them, we don't curse anyone. Do you know that? Muawiyah, he ordered Muslims to curse Ali after every prayer. And for the next 50 years in the kingdom empire of Muawiyah and Bani Umayyah, Hazrat Ali was cursed. Every mullah, every pesh imam who led the prayer, after every prayer he would curse Mawla Ali and make lanat on Mawla Ali, astaghfirullah. For 50 years it happened, and it was Umar bin Abdul Aziz, the 8th Umayyad Caliph, who stopped it. We Ismailis have never done it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think there are some good questions there. Any food for thought while
He's there. Come here. Okay.
Since Hazrat Ali was hated so much by the Sunnis, why was he chosen the fourth Caliph? And my second question is, what was the reason behind Hazrat Ali accepting that position as the fourth Caliph?
If you go through the history, it is very clear. The condition of Muslims immediately after the death of, rather murder of, Hazrat Osman became very critical. Hazrat Ali, for first 3 days after the death of Osman, remained shut in his house. He did not come out. When people approached him to accept the caliphate, Ali said, I'm not interested. Go and just elect anyone you like. There was no one. Although Muawiyah was there, a candidate who did not announce his candidacy up to that time. But people, many out of them were the companions of the Holy Prophet. They pressed Mawla Ali. It is written in somewhere, which I doubt may not be correct, but they say that many people, they pressed Mawla Ali that if you do not accept it, the Islamic conditioned kingdom and Islam itself as a religion would die and you will be the responsible. And it was the pressure from the Ummah that Mawla Ali reluctantly accepted to save Islam, as I put it again, to save Islam. If Mawla Ali would have not accepted, really at that time Umayyads were praying underground. So Mawla accepted it on the pressure. The second was, what was your second question?
What was the purpose of accepting?
The purpose of accepting the position, as I told you, to save Islam. If you read history, Mawla Ali warned Osman many times. Osman did not pay attention towards the warning of Mawla Ali, and he took it very lightly. If you read a very nice, good, important book by a Sunni, his name is Taha Hussain, T-A-H, Taha Hussain. He died about 4 or 5 years ago in Egypt. This Egyptian writer, Professor Taha Hussain of Cairo, he was a blind from birth. And he was giving lectures in the University of Cairo and Al-Azhar. He wrote a book, Ali wa Osman, Ali and Osman. Professor Taha Hussain, being a Sunni himself, but right is right, wrong is wrong, he writes, Osman was a traitor of Islam. Osman was a dishonest man. He used Muslim money to please his own relatives. Osman was very weak caliph, and he has written 18 such things about Osman. So Mawla Ali was not absolutely ready. Absolutely, he was not agreeing. He didn't like to take the reins of this rulership, because the condition that Osman created amongst the Muslims was absolutely worthless. He put in all major positions his own family people. Everywhere, all ministers, commissioners, collectors, officers, commanders, all were Bani Umayyad. There was a commissioner about 16 years old. He was drunk and came to lead the prayer in the mosque. Now Ali knew it. As soon as he becomes the caliph, he would have to deal all with these people who would not obey him. And if he removed them, they will become enemy. They were already enemy. And Ali knew it, that by doing this, Muawiyah will be more strengthened. Ali knew it, there will be a big shake-up amongst all the positions and appointments. Ali knew everything. Ali also knew that ultimately he will be killed. So Ali did not accept, but under the pressure and begging way of those people who were Holy Prophet's companions, Ali reluctantly accepted that position, and you know what happened.
We are running short of time. There is last question.
If the people did accept Ali as a caliph, why did they not accept him as Muhammad's successor in the first place? Or why would they not continue to accept him as Muhammad's successor rather than accept him as the fourth caliph?
I think I made it clear during my lecture. During the period in the life of the Holy Prophet, two things were together in one personality. The personality of Holy Prophet had two positions. He was a prophet as well as the ruler. He actually declared in Ghadir Khum for Ali to hold all these, both the position, as he was the Mawla, the master of the Mu'mins. He wanted the same thing. But Umar had already designed for the future that Khilafat and Imamat. Imamat means the religious position. We can't call Ali as prophet. So we say Khilafat, the rulership, and Imamat, the leadership of the religion. Abdullah ibn Abbas, it is reported in the history, Abdullah ibn Abbas asked Umar during his Khilafat, why did you not accept, the same question as you put, Ali immediately as the leader of the Ummah after the death of the Holy Prophet? So Umar gave the reply. Now the reply of your question comes. Umar gave the reply, Quraysh, that means the whole tribe, rather the country, the nation, did not like that after the death of Prophet Muhammad, the religious position and the state leadership both remain in one man, and particularly of Ali, because he was very young at that time. They did not like, he said. And that's why it was the playing the tune of Hazrat that means in that town hall where election took place, there were hardly 300 people, hardly. And amongst those 300 people, there were two groups. One was following Abu Bakr, the other was against it. And it was the trick of Hazrat Umar that immediately Abu Bakr was elected. So Umar did not follow. That was the propaganda, and the struggle for rulership and power by Hazrat Umar. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alwaaz. Very difficult for me to wind up something such a splendid program as this, particularly after such a renowned lecturer. I think that we can all just thank Alwaaz by praying together. Ya Ali, Ya Mulana Shakari Muhtani Hasima. Shower your most choicest blessings on Alwaaz and his family. Give him strength and courage to carry out his duty with love and devotion, to serve the house of Imam in the Jamaat. Give him strength of Iman, keep him Sirat al-Mustaqim, bless him with holy mercy in this world and the next. I would like to just mention one more thing. The last lecture, a very dreadful mistake I made, and that was not to include our thanks to Naushad for his lecture. I do apologize. I hope he's Naushad here. I do apologize to Naushad. I thought that during the break, you would have been thanked, but my apologies to you. Naushad spoke about Qadi Noman, and I'm sure we found the lecture extremely interesting. And I would also like us to join in prayers for Naushad. Ya Ali, Ya Hazrat Imam, please shower your most choicest blessings on him and his family, and let him have strength and courage to carry out his duty with love and devotion. Give him strength of Iman, keep him Sirat al-Mustaqim, and bless him with holy Nurani in this world and the next. Just by very quickly ending, the next lecture is on Thursday, and it's going to be on Philosophy of Dua by Al-Nashir Kanji. After some absence, I'm sure a lot of you have asked about him. He is going to try and cover at least 2 parts of Dua philosophy in 2 hours of lecture. I think that you will find his lecture very interesting, because he's going to base it mainly on the subjects which are going to be covered in the next session of Saturday morning class. After that, we hope to have a continuing education type of a program. We're still working on it, but next Thursday when you come, we'll try and find out from you what is the best day per week. We are planning to have 1 lecture in the east end of the city, that is perhaps in Dominus de Mascana, and another one in Dundas West. Same lectures being repeated in these 2 places, so that you don't have to travel so far. We cannot continue with our lectures here because they are starting evening classes here now. So it is difficult for us. This week is the last week for us to have this hall. But that is the one thing that you should bear in mind. And the other one is that on Saturday we are having our orientation program for the teachers, and it's going to start at 9:30 and finish about 4 o'clock. Lunch will be provided. Okay? I'm sorry? That's going to take place here, Sentinel College, okay? Here we will have this lecture room, and we have also booked 3 other classrooms for separate workshops. So please try and come and attend this program. It is very important that you have an orientation for the Saturday morning syllabus. Thank you very much once again, and thank you Alwaaz and Naushad.
Hazrat Ali had many hearts. Some say he had more than 100 hearts. But the famous was Dul. And it was, normally in writing, a mule means a she-horse. So Dul was not a male, it was she.
Maybe that was where the mistake happened. And one more question. Why did the Prophet marry Bibi Aisha?
When the Prophet was about 54 years old.
No, why did he marry her?
You know, Holy Prophet married 11 wives. At a time, he had 9 wives. He married all these wives from various tribes and important families to unite them by becoming common son-in-law. And through his own relationship, all they became related to each other. And tribal factions and animosities may be thrown away. That was the reason.
And he also married some of the widows, you see, who were the generals who
He married all widows or divorced except Aisha.
Aisha.
She was the only virgin
The
girl.
romantic wife, the most romantic wife, as it is said by some of the historians.
These Western people. After all, she is our mother. So we respect her.
Naturally. The other thing was he just to give protection to some of the widows of generals who died in the war. He just married them for the sake of name only.
No, not the Holy Prophet, because at that time he himself was the general in every war. There were no other generals. But Maulana Hassan or Imam Ali or other many imams, they married such widows. But not the Holy Prophet himself, because in all the wars he was himself the commander-in-chief.
Yes, Sahib, then where did the 4 wives system come in?
It came very late. You know, the Arabs had many wives. It was their custom. The person who had more wives, many camels, many horses, many slaves, that was the standard of higher life. The more you have, the more higher in position and in society you are. Some people had 600 wives. Now, if God says only take 1 out of 600 or 400, it was not a palatable thing for them. So Allah made a law to keep 4 wives, but concubine unlimited. You followed?
Not really.
A concubine is a wife which is bought from the market as a slave girl, as a slave. So if you take that slave as your own wife, she is known as Kanis. So this is also known as Surya. So she is a concubine, not a wife. But the children of a concubine are legitimate children of you, and they inherit all the wealth of their father. But the concubine, she remains a concubine unless he makes nikah, marries her. So there were a limit of 4 marriages, unlimited concubines. Then by time it reduced and reduced and reduced. So concubines reduced.
I see.
4 marriages were allowed, provided, Allah says, you treat them equally, which is, again Allah says, it is not possible for you. But if it is possible, you may have 4 wives. But for the Prophet, Allah says, Shariat law is not applicable to the Holy Prophet.
Okay, that answers my question.
Prophets and Imams are above law.
Umar, when he became Khalif, he compiled Quran Sharif.
He did not compile, but he appointed 6 persons, including Mawla Ali. Mawla Ali came with his version of Quran, the copy, and he said, I have already compiled during the lifetime of Prophet. But Umar didn't accept it. Then Ali went away, and those 5 people, they edited it. And it is what is here
And
now.
there were some more ayat regarding Mawla Murtaza Ali which were taken out.
Yes. But you know, Hazrat Imam has said, openly we don't dispute with the general Ummah. We have accepted this Quran since that time. Yeah. Even Hazrat Ali, during his own Khilafat time, did not impose his own version. He accepted the same thing.
Then there's one more question. Why isn't Quran given that much exposure in Ismailism? Why don't we read Quran? Why?
I mean, Quran, I speak, I think, as much as I can. I tell the Jamaat, Quran is our book. Quran was revealed in the house of Ali Nabi, not in Abu Bakr or Umar's house. It belongs to us more than other Muslims. But because we don't understand Arabic, and we don't just read the Quran in its translation, and mostly in 1900, when Isna Sharif left our faith, so to keep a gap between Isna Sharif and Ismail is prominent. The gap must be prominent between two. So our leaders, our ancestors and forefathers, they bent upon telling their children that you remain away from this Shariat. You follow your Farman and Ginans. So this is the reaction or the result that we have been given by our leaders or fathers or ancestors. And some people, they would say, "Paanto Musalman nahi, Quran panjo na hue." It's wrong.
It's wrong, yes.
Quran is ours.
Yes.
And read as much as Quran possible. Maulana Sultan Ahmad Shah said, all the other peers, they gave you Ginans because you did not understand Arabic. And Ginans are nothing but the tafasir, that means interpretation of the Holy Quran.
So it is already within our Ginan.
Yes, it is.
Quran is within
Every
Ginans are full of Quranic study and Quranic teaching. Full.
Incidentally, whilst you were talking about the gap between the Shnashus and the Ismail, there has always been a tale or saying, our parents teaching us that we should not eat the same food as they do, we should not eat from their house. Does this remain true to this day?
True, beta, even now. There are two kinds of Isna Sharif. Those Isna Sharif, after the death of Imam Jafar Sadiq, they did not accept Imam Ismail, they followed Musa Kazim. So they were separated. We have no grudge against them. These Khoja Isna Sharif, they were converted by Pir Sadruddin, their forefathers like our forefathers. They followed all the Imams from Siri Islam Shah till Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah's time. They even accepted Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah as their Imam. They made bayat of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah.
This was in India and Pakistan.
India, Pakistan and Africa. Then, because of the dispute between the Jamaati leaders and themselves, they ground the axe against the religion and they gave up our religion, went away. Where they went away? From 48th Imam, they retreated back to 12th. So we don't like them. They accepted our Imam, made bayat, and then they broke. So it is in Quran, O Muhammad, those who have made bayat and then they break it, fight against them. We have no animosity against them, but we don't mix with them. These Khoja Isna Sharif. And Isna Sharif for Iran is better than a Khoja Isna Sharif. Because they never accepted our Imam.
Which means
left.
there is definitely a difference.
There is a definite
difference
How do you
between...
find out when you come across in the Shinashi, whether it's a Khoja Shinashi or...
Well, Mavji, Bhanji, they are all these Khoja Isna Sharif.
Be safe, keep away.
Ratan Sindar
Khoja
Aslam.
Isna.
Not Jamal, Ratan Sindar Aslam. The whole of Ratan Sindar.
What do you want?
Let's say there seems to be some confusion in my mind. The first three caliphs are supposed to be usurpers. They took away Ali's right to be the caliph.
True.
And then you say that we give the due respect they deserve as the caliphs of
You are
Islam.
absolutely right. But would you follow your Imam's farman?
Yes, I would.
So Imam says, don't have any grudge because Ali had already accepted. Or say Ali forgave them.
Right. No, but my question is, do we accept them as our caliphs?
Well, as Muslim caliphs, certainly in those days, there were Shias of Mawla Ali, say Ismailis, who loved Ali. So they accepted those caliphs. Because he is a ruler, no? A caliph is a ruler.
That's right.
So politically they accept it. We accept them also.
Due to Caesar what is due to Caesar and due to Allah what is Allah.
True. It is about no, it applies to Daswant. This Farman is about Daswant. So when you have an income, either from the land or from your work, so Caesar means the king, the government. So give the taxes to the government and my taxes to me. This is Daswant.
Could you make available a list of references so that we can read more about this?
This Ghadirakum, it is in my book. Anyone has that book?
I do.
You have?
You have it?
Oh, very good.
Incidentally, your book is in Gujarati.
Yes, it is in Gujarati beta because at that time I was forced to write in Gujarati. It's 1966 or 7, something like that. At the end of these books, in that book, you will find number 1 to 30. So when I give the quotations of the hadith, under that in bracket there is the reference of that. You can pass over to anyone. Take the photostat of that. Where is our Gilani, Mr. Gilani?
Waiting for you outside.
I have one question.
Who is our first peer?
Nabi Muhammad, he is our first peer. You know, peer is a Persian word. During our Arabic period, you know Arabic period? Up to Imam Mustansir Billah, it is our Arabic period. So Imam Mustansir Billah sent the Sadgur Noor to India. And after Imam Nizar, Imam Hadi went to Alamut. So from that is known as Persian period. So the Arabic period has no name as peer. In Arabic there is no pa. The letter P is not in Arabic. So in Arabic they would say Hujjatul Imam or Imam Musta'uda. Wherever you find Imam Musta'uda, it means peer. So our first peer is Nabi Muhammad Mustafa, as our Peer Sadruddin has taught us.
Perhaps I'm not very clear on this, but there has been if Prophet Muhammad was our first peer, okay, then when Imamate came into existence, obviously there was no peers existing then, or Imam was the peer and he was Imam himself.
No, I let it clear. As far as the Noor is concerned, Noor of Imamat, Noor of peer, it remained forever since the birth of the creation. The only thing to cut short the history, to make a boundary that we may start after that, because it's a very long period behind. So we say that Mawla Ali was first Imam and Nabi Muhammad was first peer. It does not mean that before Nabi there was no peer. It doesn't mean that before Ali there was no Imam. There were. Imamat Noor was there, Piri Noor was there, or Nabuwat's Noor. But to cut short and make our understanding shorter and brief, we have taken as Imam, first Imam Ali, first Peer Hazrat Nabi. Noor is there. Now those both the Noors are with Hazari. Both the Noors. There is a quotation in Quran. Near the time of Qiyamah, Allah says, the sun and the moon will join together. Sun is Imamat's Noor, this is Piri Noor. So now they have joined together since Sultan Muhammad Shah's time.
I just want to elaborate on the flashy question. It applies personally in my circumstances. During the course of my business, I do get involved with these flashes. Either it's colleagues Whereas my clients...
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Talk to them. Sit with them. The only thing is, do not become intimate.
No, but
Keep away.
if I have to go to my client's house...
I mean, now he's your client.
Yes.
It's a matter of business.
Yes.
Keep your faith separately and keep your business separately.
No, but I mean...
Even if there is a kafir as your client, or if there is a kafir that you are client of him,
yes,
it doesn't
no,
matter.
But then, I mean, if I go to my client's house and if he offers me a cup of tea or something, it is very difficult.
Now, if he is a Khuda Isnashri,
he is, and he'll make sure that he does.
He would always say that.
He will make sure that he does, and he will want to make... And it is very obvious. So what are you supposed to do?
No, Allah says, if there is a person going to, say, traveling, and if he doesn't get anything to eat, even pork is allowed.
As far as your intention.
This is in reference to Alwaaz Duladir. You mentioned something about when a child is born first, you don't take it into family for 7 days. Is there any specific reason?
Yes, it is in Ginan. For 13 days, the mother and child both are in sutak. Sutak means napaki, uncleanliness, condition of uncleanliness.
How do you mean uncleanliness?
Because it is allowed. It is written in Quran. Even during the 3 or 4 days period of menstruation, they are unclean. They should not go to say mosque. But Imam Ali Shah Mabab allowed for women to come to Jamaat Khane even during the menstruation, but he forbade that such women must not take the duties of serving niyaz or jura or like that.
So even now that should be in effect?
Yes, now it is there. So when child is born, still it is uncleanliness because blood is bleeding. So Pir says that 13 days. So Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah reduced from 13 to 7 days, some 50 years ago. So for first 7 days, she and child must not come to Jamaat Khana. After 7 days, or better after 13 days, they should take bath, bring the child, and give him the bayat of Hazrat Imam at the hand of Mukhi, so he becomes an Ismaili. And with a chanto, that is known as Chati. You know Chati?
Yes. Why is the process that's natural, physically, why is the separation existing? Is it just for the sake of physical?
Yes, it is for the sake of physical thing. Like when we go to toilet, we make urine, we pass also stool. It's natural. Yet we are told by Allah to make ablution. Every Muslim, every Ismaili must wash his private parts after toilet and this with water. Unless in some duress conditions you have only toilet paper and there is no water, but water must be used. It's known as in Islam it is known as Tohara. Tohara means cleanliness, purification. Body purification is also as important as mental purification. Okay, Beta?